Okay, this video is why animal rights is BS mostly. Now, of course, I think people should be nice to animals. But that's not what animal rights is about most of the time. Now, there are some real animal lovers. I've seen there's nowadays a lot of women, they've got lured into feminism when they were young. It's not until they get a little older that they realize they simply can't do what a man can do. Okay? We are physically much stronger. Men don't give a shit. We'll work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. A woman does not want to do that. She wants to have a baby and have a family. That's normal, okay? So it gets hard for them as they get older because they realize men don't give a shit. They'll work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, 20 years in a row. We'll do it. We don't care. What men want is a woman at home to have a family with, okay? But anyways, what I'm getting at is a lot of women never were able to have a baby. They're childless because they, delayed having a child for too long. For some of them, it's for other reasons. Some of them are really fat, no man wants them. Some of them have herpes and they can't attract a man because of that. You'd be amazed how common herpes is. I see tons of herpes. Okay, I've been a doctor a long time. There's a lot of it. Okay, lots of women were very promiscuous when they're young. Women are more promiscuous nowadays than ever before. And they have a lot of random the high body count of different men. And they get venereal disease and they scar off their fallopian tubes. They can't have a baby. Other women who delay having a baby till they're in their 30s, they sometimes will get very bad fibroids of the uterus. That's a benign tumor of the uterus, leiomyoma. And they can't have a baby. Okay, so anyways, so these women are lonely, okay? It's natural. All through history, up until the birth control days in 1960s and everything, it was normal for a woman to have 10 children. That was normal. That was average, 10 children. Okay, so these modern women with 0 children, they get a little crazy. They got nothing to do as they get older. Okay, I've noticed these women, I've seen this in my girlfriends and my ex-wife. A man always has a goal, at least any type of high-achieving man. I've always got to write a book chapter, make a YouTube video, study something, look up a paper, help out a patient, help a friend or something. I've always got a lot of stuff to do. Whereas, girlfriends and wives are like, well, do you want to go to the water park today? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm behind 2 chapters in a book. I got to write a paper for this guy. I got tons of stuff to do. I don't want to go to the water park, okay? Spend 2 days at a water park. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay? I told you, my ex-wife said to me, she says, why do you study so much? You don't have to. You put so much time in your presentation. No one gives a shit. Nobody cares about your stupid presentation. She says, you're a typical man, always trying to be a show-off, trying to be a big shot. A woman doesn't care. A woman just wants to survive. She says, medicine's just like selling hot dogs. You sell more hot dogs, you make more money, all this show-off bullshit. Anyways, so getting back to it, those are real animal lovers. I've known some young ladies, they want to become veterinarians, and they love animals. They like to work with dogs and cats. They like to work on a farm. Hey, that's great, okay? But that's not what animal rights is really about. Okay, they're usually individualists. You don't see them walking around, marching in the street with pink hair and eyebrow piercings and tattoos and stuff, okay? You see them taking care of animals or working at an animal shelter or something with a veterinarian or being a veterinarian or something like that. Okay, when I talk about people who are promoting animal rights, what most of them are is atheist communists, okay? And members of the demo, Krat party, okay? The entire goal, the driving force, the raison d'etre of that group is to get control, to get rid of Christians, okay? To destroy America and make it into slavery, okay? This has been in writing for decades and decades. The bizarre thing is that so many Americans, the vast majority of them, are functional illiterates. They don't know this. Open a book. Read about the Soviets in the 1900s. It's obvious. The Soviets killed 65 million Christians, and they burnt down 48,000 churches. That is what is coming to the United States, if people don't wake up and support Christianity. Okay, it's just a fact. This is well known. They've put it in writing. That is their goal. Okay, there's nothing ambiguous about it, and they almost succeeded last year. Okay, what do you see them doing? The same people. How could somebody go around promoting abortion, okay, to do what to humans, and then pretend to care about animals? It's obvious nonsense, okay? The real goal is it's control, okay? And starvation of Christians is standard communist technique. Look what they did in Ukraine in the 1930s. This is standard. Look at communist movements all over the world. You will see this is standard. They want to destroy the food supply as much as possible. Get rid of animal food. It's one less thing to be in the way of obtaining starvation of the Christian population. They go around, making up diseases and saying, oh, the farmer's livestock has to be culled, okay? You'll look around, you see this is happening in Western countries all over the world, okay? They say small dairy farms, small family farms, chicken eggs, they're unsanitary. Bullshit, and they close them down. I would trust these small farms better than I would trust a big farm. The small farm, a lot of times knows its customers, eats the food itself, the family. They are dependent on doing a good job, whereas some big company, they don't care. So anyways, they're shutting down the family farms. And one of the reasons for that is if you look at history shows in turbulent times, rural small farmers do much better than city folks. And one of the best things a person could do is have some friends in these rural small farms and get food from them when there's no food in the stores, okay? I know a lot of people that grew up in communist countries. They say you go to the store and there's nothing on the shelf, nothing. And so then you have to walk up to the person at the cashier and say, excuse me, show them some cash and say, would you be any chance, maybe did any new shipment come in? Could you please check in the back storeroom if you've, got any eggs, any milk or whatever? And the person will go, well, I don't know if we have any, but let me go check. And they'll go back and then they'll come out from the back storeroom and they'll have, whatever the person wanted for the cash, okay? That's how it is, okay? In communist countries, it can be difficult to buy toilet paper. Okay, people stand in lines to buy toilet paper. That's how messed up they are. Okay, communism is just stupidity. I mean, basically, Karl Marx said it a long time ago. Our goal is to get rid of private property. So how would anybody want to support a system that's going to take everything away from them, that they can't even have toilet paper? Okay, only stupidity. Why would people want that? See, socialism comes dressed up in the costume of promoting animal rights and equality and altruism, and we all share together. But the reality is people are selfish, okay? They don't want to work their butt off all day long unless they get to keep some of the money they make, some of the stuff they produce. That's just human nature, okay? The purpose of communism is just so a small elite of the Communist Party can control everyone else, okay? It's bullshit, okay? So anyways, that's what animal rights is really about, okay? If you study it, that's what the vast majority of it is about. They do things like this to drive up the cost of food, to bankrupt people, to push everybody into food lines and bread lines in the city, and to starve them, okay, to control them. So as far as I'm concerned, we need a backup supply of food, all right? And it's good that there's farms that are making dairy, farms that are making eggs, etc. The more family farms, the better the ability of the country to survive in general if it ever has a difficult time with food, okay? So you should know that, all right? Because that's what it's really about. If you study the issue, you will see that is the case, all right?